So this past week, while reading some of the works of August Wilson to better familiarize myself with some of the great works of drama that I should already know as a playwright, I couldn't help but reflect on this recurring theme that he explores in his theatrical examination of the African American experience that speaks volumes about the regrettable way that the liberty of all Americans has consistently been restricted by the stubborn refusal of our justice system to recognize a right so plainly embedded in the 14th Amendment. But before I get into what that is, if you're watching this video because you're a theater lover, please consider liking this video, subscribing to my channel, and hitting that notification bell so you don't miss any other content, analyzing great theatrical works, and sharing some of my own. Of all the arbitrary and capricious laws that have traditionally given carte blanche to police who want to harass somebody they don't like who isn't doing anything wrong, you'd be hard-pressed to find a better example than the one that the protagonist in 7 Guitars from Wilson's Pittsburgh Cycle has just spent 90 days in prison for violating when the play begins: vagrancy. Now, action movie fans will remember what set the conflict in motion in the first Rambo movie.
Is there any law against me getting something here?
Yeah, me.
Now, before I committed myself to acting and writing full-time, I taught social studies for 21 years, and in teaching my students about the 14th Amendment, the way that it is said to incorporate the Bill of Rights, it never ceased to amaze me how it took 57 years before anything in the Bill of Rights was interpreted by the Supreme Court as a right that the states were bound by the Due Process Clause to respect, despite the very clear original intent of the framers of the amendment that everything in the Bill of Rights was what they meant by the privileges and immunities of Americans that no agent of the state could violate. Students learn about the infamous Slaughterhouse case where the Supreme Court cut the heart out of the 14th Amendment for decades by taking such an extremely narrow view of just what those privileges and immunities were. But here's the rub, and something that is hardly ever brought up in discussions of all the ways that police can trample our civil liberties. Even with the setbacks of the Slaughterhouse case, John Rambo's right to get something to eat in Teasel's town, or the right of the countless African Americans who got locked up every time they couldn't provide an explanation for "What are you doing in this town here, boy?" that was acceptable to a white officer, that right is one of the rights that the court threw out there in its Slaughterhouse opinion about what is meant by privileges and immunities. When the court came up with its erroneous rule about it not meaning anything in the Bill of Rights, they had to come up with something as an example for just what that phrase did mean. And the right to travel to another state was one of the things they threw out there as an example. So why was this part of the ruling never cited to defend the people who had their rights flagrantly violated by these vagrancy laws? I mean, I'm not a lawyer. If you are and you know more about this, or if you're just somebody who has your own strong opinion that you'd like to share, please let me know down in the comments. Hope you didn't mind the history lesson today that dovetailed nicely with my other great passion of the theater that this channel is about, and I hope you'll smash the like and stay tuned for more theater content like this on this channel. Take care now.